Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing The Evil Within on Akumu difficulty mode, and this is my video guide and walkthrough for the aforementioned title and difficulty setting. I understand that Akumu means nightmare in Japanese, so there are two versions of nightmare difficulty in this mode, but this one is the hardest, where in one hit you perish. So this is chapter 1, an emergency call. It's looking good. It's running the idTech 5 engine, and you may notice that I have no letterboxing on my screen. To have that available, you download flawless widescreen from the internet, and that will enable your PC version to completely fill the screen without having to use the line of code that Bethesda put out in their bulletin, where they had all of the codes that you can put when you click insert, and you might think it's a compromise, but it isn't. I've used the different aspect ratios that Bethesda has recommended, but it doesn't fix the problem, because all it does is zoom in and it cuts off some of the screen. So I find it completely unacceptable, and what I've done, like I said, and I didn't know how to do it, so I had to go on Steam and start a thread and ask people, if you want it the way I have it, which is ideal, I can possibly direct you to the thread on Steam that I was on, that the other people helped me figure out how to do this. So anyway, this is it. I've never been so impressed with an opening scene in a long time in a video game. Debussy's Clair de Lune is just absolutely gorgeous. Sometimes I just leave my software program on and just have the music in the background for hours, even when I'm just walking around. But I've just completed survival mode, and on a lot of the sections, since I knew I was going to do Akumu mode, I tried to do a lot of them no damage. Some of the chapters are exceedingly difficult because they're cheap. But let's have a look at what's happening here. You're allowed to rotate the camera, but you're only shown what the game wants you to see. You can't move it over any further to the left. The same goes when you're in the lockers or under a bed or in a dresser. You only can see what the game wants you to see. This game does not patronize you. It does not employ any cheap, thrilling like jump scares. But if you've played this game, you know that this game fucks with you quite frequently, whether it be with traps or even the vending machines. They'll have some commodities come out, and then they'll have a trap come out. So I just love this whole situation here. The game fell apart for me in like chapter 3, but then I started to really enjoy it at around 9 or 10, and I would recommend having the crouch set to toggle so that you don't have to hold the right bumper down to crouch, and you don't have to move very slowly like in The Last of Us. You can move the left analog stick forward as much as you want to. So what else to say? Who is this guide aimed for, you might be wondering? It's aimed for the person who's just come off survival mode and who doesn't want anything but the highest challenge. And admittedly, Akumu mode to me is a novelty setting because it differs from the 3 lower difficulties to such an extreme that it's the odd difficulty out, so to speak. So there's a part of me that wanted to do Nightmare, but if I had done Nightmare, I wouldn't have been comfortable knowing that there was another difficulty above what I was playing at. And here I'm actually playing with the camera a little bit, putting it on the sadist. If you're going to do this, just don't compromise the camera movements to such a degree that he catches up with you, but you can actually move the camera behind you. So 1 hit and you're dead on this game, so it's pointless to upgrade your health, but you can upgrade and still get the achievement or the trophy or the equivalent on the PC. I don't know what it's called. I mean, I know what the achievement is called. I don't know what their form of rewards are. But this is going to be a hard project. I'm not going to be picking up anything nearby here. So one of the things that really struck me when I first started to play this is, do you see how he's limping because he got cut by the chainsaw? He's hobbled here, and you feel completely helpless, and that's what the game always makes you feel like, just completely helpless and worried and fretful and full of anxiety. But again, it doesn't patronize you. It expects you to win. It doesn't want you to win based on the criteria, but it's possible to win. And to me, it's sort of like Dead Space, although it's definitely more of a Resident Evil style game. And I'm not sure if this is some kind of a joke here where he says, "Where's the exit?" as if he were talking to that guy in the wheelchair who's obviously dead, or if he was talking to himself. Didn't understand that. So what else to say? Things will come along as we progress. Things that will be of influence for the guide. So things like the pamphlet on the desk, I'm not getting those. I already have them. Took a wrong turn there. We'll go in here now. And it's going to introduce us to this mechanic, which I failed at many times on survival mode when I first started playing this game. But the fear was so strong within me when I was playing this, and I honestly thought more of the game would be taking place inside the insane asylum. But you really only go through there near the end of the game, and also to do the upgrades. So here's a perfect example of what I was talking about. You can move the camera to the left and to the right, but only as much as the game wants you to see. So once it has the right bumper come up, you're free to exit the locker, and then we'll be doing a stealth section. And I cannot recall, but it seems like on this difficulty what they've altered, if anything, because I just can't remember that far back in my original campaign 2 weeks ago when I started playing the game. But it seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to say anything that's not true, but it seems like the guy has to cut a path when you get to the second room. But anyway, this is the faster hobbled walk. You want to use that if you need to get away from him quickly. So first throw the bottle for the distraction in that area, and then he's going to cut through that room, so grab the second bottle, and then I'm going to throw another distraction down there, and then I'm going to pick up the next bottle over here. I thought on survival mode that there was a path somewhere over here, but it seems like on this difficulty that he has to come back into the room, which he will, and cut a path for you, meaning that he'll tear up some of the partitions and the boxes for you to go. I seem to recall making a break for it even at this point, so I'm not sure, but my mind could be conflicted and kind of confused since I'm redoing this. I just cleared the game earlier tonight, so here he's coming in. You'll want to make sure that he tears up a path for you, and then throw the bottle. I was really impressed with this, just extremely impressed, and I may have said this, but my impression of the game really fell through when I was trying to learn the mechanics, because this game is considerably old school. It's a celebration of old school tropes and mentalities, and for somebody that I've never played Resident Evil 4 longer than 15 minutes. I've never even finished the first part in the village because I've never cared for that game. But I like this game because it's more modern, yet it bathes itself in these cliches and just old school values. So we're nearing the end of the video. This is a very brief chapter. I will not be able to put each chapter into one video unless the chapter is very short, because the files for PC games are very large. So as far as my settings, I have all the hardware settings maxed out. I have it's just running on the basic. I didn't alter the frame rate because it's not stable at this point. I will talk about how to restart checkpoint in the next video. So I'll see you there. Take